Kingsman: The Golden Circle is an action-spy comedy film directed by Matthew Vaughn and stars Colin Firth, Julianne Moore, and Taron Egerton. And yeah, it's not as good as the first one. I still had fun with this movie, but it doesn't do anything new. The action scenes, for what they were really good, but they didn't really exceed the church scene from the first film, and instead of the sequel taking a step forward, it takes a step back. For one thing, some of the new characters were pretty much worthless. The villain in this movie was absolute crap. In fact, now that I mention it, a lot of the American actors really don't have that much time on screen. And while some of the American characters aren't essential to the story, the film does focus on what it needs to focus on the most, and that is the protagonist. And yeah, let's talk about that runtime. The film really dragged. With the first film, it was perfectly paced and had the right amount of runtime. With The Golden Circle, it went on for way too long. The pacing was all over the place, some scenes tended to drag on for way too long, and there was one scene in the movie that was completely pointless and could have been easily cut out. Now, I know I'm being negative on this film, but I'm only pointing out the flaws, and there were quite a number of flaws. But like I said, this film was fun. And that's what I really expected from this film. I know with the Kingsman film series, I'm not expecting masterpieces. All I expect from this film series is to have a fun time, and much like the first one, I had a fun time with this movie. The comedy, like the first film, was hilarious and was really spot on. In fact, one source of comedy in this movie is the film's best kept secret. And I'm gonna give away what it is because literally this one thing made the movie. So if you don't wanna know what it is, mute this video now. I'm gonna tell everyone who's watching right now what the best kept secret of this movie was. Elton John. But yeah, getting back to the negatives, the story this time round wasn't that interesting. And the villain's big plan really was pretty weak. And unlike the first film where I had no clue what was going to happen, The Golden Circle was predictable. Overall, Kingsman: The Golden Circle is a film that is filled with wasted opportunities. Instead of doing what a good sequel should do, step up in every aspect, this film takes a step back and it's not as impressive as the first film. But what kept me going for this film was the action scenes were good, the comedy was spot on, and really all I cared about with this movie was having fun, and I had fun with this film, and that is what was most important to me. And with the problems I stated, it may irritate some people. But if you're a fan of the first Kingsman movie and you're definitely excited for this film, I would recommend Kingsman: The Golden Circle. And I'm going to give Kingsman: The Golden Circle a 7 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, be sure to like my Facebook page, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe to my channel below. As always, I'm NETX5. Thank you for watching.